Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are live in the Counselor's Office. Today, we have more Destiny 2 content. That's right. This time, I'm going... Destiny 3 was trending, and that... Ooh, it looks like Halo's trending, so that looks like I'm going to be checking that out soon. But Destiny 3 has been trending, and I am interested to see what it's all about. And it apparently started with this conversation here. If you're taking a break or quitting Destiny 2, what would Bungie need to do in order to bring you back and give you hope for the future? And I think this is an interesting topic because right now Bungie has been shooting themselves in the foot. They have not been listening to player feedback. They've been doing the bare minimum. They've not been transparent and not really communicating as they should. It takes the game losing 80% of the player base for them to maybe do something. If they were to do something, let's see what people think that they need to do to bring maybe that player base back or the main player base. So let's just read, and I want to look through some of the other trending stuff, but I'm just interested in this comment and just we're gonna read through. It's always nice to get other people's opinion besides mine, and also just kind of get a unfiltered where it's not directed to me. Is that the ice cream truck? You might be hearing ice cream truck in the background. All right, Bungie's bringing some ice cream for us. All right, do you have any idea how many games I've played and finished since I uninstalled it not long after the release of the final shape? Nah, I'm not going back. My time is too precious. True. I've got through several games. It's been really refreshing. Way too much bloat and over-design. It needs a big streamline. On top of that, hot take coming up, but it needs to be more solo-friendly at endgame. Every single activity, including raids, should be soloable with you and 5 NPC companions. Ooh, that is a hot take. This isn't just a hot take, it's an unfeasible one. How the hell do you program NPCs of other guardians? What weapons do they use? What abilities? How do you program them to do mechanics that require communication? No, raids are the one thing that should require being social. I think they need to introduce raid-like mechanics earlier in the game for solo players to experience. The game is so flipping easy. Seasonal content is a breeze. Strikes are simple. There's almost no player challenge until you hit in-game. I think that's fair. I think this is probably one of the most fair comments I have seen in a long time. I think there's a division between a big base of the people who play in-game. A lot of my comments in my videos were people who don't do raids or feel left out. And it's because of how the game is. It's like easy mode, and then you hit a wall when you get to raids. Like most casual new players, or even like veteran, like returning players, or even veterans who don't raid, because statistically raids are the most underplayed content in Destiny, and it's probably the most expensive too, which is probably why we're not getting maybe some big raids for a while. I don't know, I'll eat my words in a year. But I do think we need a way to introduce an activity that does like base raid style mechanics that introduces people to be able to practice social communication. I mean, there's obviously things like Dares of Eternity that have mechanics that you work with, but it's usually soft mechanics and nothing that really kind of gauges you. There's no like middle ground. You either do the base stuff or you do raids, and then there's nothing in the middle that kind of pads you in there. I don't think, here's my hot take. I think exotic missions should never be like dual Destiny. I love dual Destiny. I think it's really cool, but I think they should never do it again. And with all the debate and argument between the community, I fully suspect that Bungie will never do it again. That's not me just saying I hope they don't like necessarily do it. I hope they continue to experiment and they do different missions like that in the future for different things. Like I would love a 2-man activity where you just get loot from it. But exotics, I think exotic missions should truly just stay where you can have 3 people or you solo it. That's how you keep the casuals happy. I'm not a casual, I'm a veteran. I love dual Destiny. I think it's a really cool mission. It's a shame that it's not being played nearly as much as it used to be before they patched the exploit to get double drops. Now you can only get 1 drop a week, so maybe it's worth playing 1 time and then just never touching it again for the week. All dungeons and raids are designed so players can get them done solo. have you done any dungeons solo already? Yeah, I mean, dungeons are a great way. I don't think there's like a lot of mechanics, like raid mechanics in dungeons. There's like, again, soft mechanics, but I think solo dungeons is a good middle point. What I would like to see is more dungeons with raid style mechanics. Like no shot, like, and I know that might make me tricky because you have to make it soloable. So you have to also make these raid mechanics, these raid mechanic lights soloable, which I think you could do. Just depends on how much effort you put into it. I'm not a developer. I never claimed to be it, so I don't know what the solution is. But I think he's also right. Dungeons really is kind of like a good middle point, but it doesn't have any like raid light mechanics to help people get into raids. NPC companions. Now that would be the day. Maybe call Square Enix. They can do that like they did for FF14. Again, I don't know what that means. Everyone liked that. I'm just gonna we're moving on from this, but I do think this is an interesting thought process. Make raids soloable. What if they did like, and me spitballing, we're gonna get back to the comments, the main thing, but what if they did like a timeline like they do with like missions, but they did a timeline for raids? So they take an encounter from each raid and they make it to where it can be soloable, and they introduce, and obviously this is a fantasy Make-A-Wish world, right? But let's just say that they were going to do it, because we know they'll never spend that time and money on it. But let's put our little Make-A-Wish hat on. Let's say they take encounters and they make it soloable, just introducing the mechanics. That would be neat. It doesn't mean necessarily have to be like, you could have one boss fight at the end, but you have different raid encounters and then you have to learn to do it soloable. And it's just streamlined for the new player to test out, the returning player, the casuals, people who want to try and dip their toes into raids. They just like, they can have a taste of it. And then if they're interested, they would actually just go to that raid and do the full thing. But they have like the base idea of the mechanics. I don't know. Again, not an engineer, putting a Make-A-Wish hat on just to kind of like fantasy world thinking, spitballing ideas. It would be a lot of work to take current raid encounters and then essentially retune them, which if they're going to retune them, they might as well just do that to the raid itself. We've seen them kind of do it a little bit with Pantheon, but not to the extent that I'm talking about. I don't know. Spitballing. Let's go back. All right, let's keep reading. Release the vaulted content. That is a common theme for people. I agree. Release more vaulted content. Restore all content from the way back from year one. Then use the MCC option. You download which DLC you want so you don't miss anything. Okay, that's respectable. As long as as a longtime fan of Destiny as a whole, I'm going to be honest. Since I'm stopped playing after finishing the Final Shape campaign, I'm okay with not playing anymore. Always will love the story, gunplay, and environments they have. But in the end, the amount of toxicity I run into in PvP, especially in the new raid, I'm straight up all right if I never play it again. I think that's true. I think a lot of the PvP community is toxic, and so is the PvE. Let's not, like, the Destiny community is very toxic. And you see it time, you would disagree with people, and you see it all the time. You see it with people, like the moment people start posting in forums or in comments or on Twitter or in videos about dual Destiny and not how you can't solo it, immediately you saw two different sides of the community, and they were just an out war. And you see streamers that are being toxic and hateful. You see people who are pro solo were being hateful and toxic. Like, I'm sorry, the Destiny community, there's a reason why we didn't win best community of the year for the Game Awards. We're toxic AF. Let's let, of course, people paint the image that we are really kind. Sure, when you have a group of people in the chat that likes one person they're watching, they're going to be more kind. If you go to an event that's a Destiny event, obviously people there are really passionate about Destiny and they're focused on just like cosplay and all that stuff. But as soon as you start making criticisms about the game in public, all hell breaks loose. Like, you think those people are going to be all smiley and kind? No, probably not. Granted, no one wants to be around someone that's always criticizing nonstop. That's really unfortunate. Leave the criticism for online, I guess. I don't know. But my point is it's easy to paint a brush to make things look like they're good when in actuality they're not. I've done too many LFG runs to see toxicity, and I've been toxic. Hell, I did a Grandmaster where I was playing with people that knew what they were doing, and it was really frustrating, and it felt like a Make-A-Wish run, and I bashed them for it, and people got mad at me for that. But listen, going and doing something and you don't know what you're doing is just as toxic as someone calling you out for it. New game, ditch seasons, bring back actual expansions, including all content in those expansions. No selling dungeons separate. I agree. I think them double, triple dipping, because they're doing expansions, then they're doing seasons, and they're doing dungeons on top of that. And Bungie can't afford some of the basic changes that we give feedback for. Yeah, I absolutely agree with this. We need to go back to Forsaken, where things are put into the game as they are, including content. Ditch battle pass, but that loot in the that loot in the game. Cosmetic shop can stay, but raid armor should be the best looking stuff anyways. Absolutely. I think the Salvation's End raid armor is doo-doo. It is hot garbage. After 10 years, you think the 10-year, this is the biggest raid in 10 years, the conclusion, and we get garbage. Hey, they got to make money somehow. And even though you spent money on the expansion and the raid, they've got to put it in the shop, so you spend money on that instead. Or tie old season pass cosmetics with hard triumphs to feel like you've earned them rather than bought. Have the raid gear be ornaments. True. Well, I mean, you can just do that. You can do both. Everything that's exclusive is paid. Battle Pass, like cosmetic exclusive. There's no actual loot exclusive in the Battle Pass. That's not true. You get the exotic weapon, and you can get some of the exotic, or not exotic, but you get exotic weapon, and you get some of the seasonal weapons early if you rank up that fast. As someone who has 2 separate accounts, 6 characters total, this is why would you do 2? This person needs to be under a microscope. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? As someone who has 2 separate accounts, 6 characters total, this is what I've discovered playing the day 1 and new light grinds from start. Bring in people from outside Bungie to fix PvP. Exactly. It's clear to me that they can't fix it. They don't know what they're doing. Make all PvE in-games activities be 100% random from start to finish every single time. PvE in-game is boring as F, as it's people doing the exact same thing in the exact same order every time. Make the new player experience better. Make it cheaper. Make it easier to learn. Make it easier to be able to play in-game. Hey, here's a quick tip. Put the actual Red War campaign back in the game, which sets people up of understanding how the heck to play. Make the actual free-to-play actually free-to-play and not free-to-try. Make all Grandmasters, Nightfalls free. Make all comp free. Make trials DLC or free. I don't care. I know there's cheaters, but let's be honest. Cheaters gonna cheat anyways. People are gonna buy accounts who are cheating. Let's not act like there aren't cheaters in trials right now or in comp. Let's just like live in this delusional bubble that, oh, we tie it behind a DLC, then they're not gonna be able to cheat. No, all that really changed is that Bungie gets money now from cheaters. Them tying trials and all that stuff, like PvP wise, behind paid content, all that does means they're just gonna rebuy the content and give Bungie money. Like, the people who still suffer are you and me. I'm just saying. 2 has got to be the worst idea ever recorded. What was 2? No, that's great. I think that's smart. You can't be throwing out such outlandish takes with this much confidence. Maybe with your crappy build, other people play more aggressively. Predictable means you can learn and improve, and thus far more efficiently, which is ideal for a looter. Imagine a bad player going in and dying and making no progress because next run is completely different. Interesting. It's not when boring, predictable. Okay, that's a fair assessment. Let's keep going. Let's see. Stop having triumphs or advancements that require fire team. I'm stuck at level 7, so I can't get a fire team to do 3 level that require a team. Not everyone wants to be in a clan. True. At this point, either D3 or Marathon feels like the only thing that can get me back into a Bungie game. Hey, but went through the Halo experience. It was weird putting down a franchise I loved for a decade, but it was for the better. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about Halo too. 2 tokens and a blue. 2 tokens and a blue. Tell us anything at all about the future is firstly a big step up. A title project isn't enough. This is a big issue of why people are leaving the game, is you haven't told us the future. Why would we stick and invest in your game when we don't know what the hell's in the future? Why is it I have to look at leaks that tell me more about the future and why I'm more negative about Destiny? But come on, Bungie. Then maybe a plan like they laid out back when they set up the roadmap to the final shape. It doesn't need to be a 10-year map. I'd be happy with 2. Throw us a bone here. Hell, I'll take 1. Give us 1-year roadmap of the future. My gut response was to say D3 or revamp PvP, but after watching the decision they made the last decade, it's always 1 step forward, 2 back. At this point, I don't know what they could do because I've lost faith they can deliver on either of those pipe dreams. Probably D3 at this point. I feel like I've done everything I've needed to do in D2. Take care of their staff and treat players with respect without taking everything from them. The amount of layoffs due to players is insanity, especially after the masterpiece of DLC they made, which was a widely success. How stupid are you for doing this, Bungie? I wouldn't say it was a masterpiece. I do not think Final Shape is a masterpiece. I think it's good. It is not a masterpiece. Can't wait to do that review, by the way. I would say a Destiny 3, completely new stuff. This is why I'm getting more excited for other games lately. They are new. Love Destiny and might pop in here and there, but it can't hold my attention long. And I feel the same way. There's no future to this game anymore. They've clearly winding down operations and focusing on other games. Love Destiny while it was a live service game, but the writing is now firmly on the wall for its death. 80% dropping. I mean, most people are intelligent enough to know that that's the case. The writing's on the wall. 80% of the player base has left the game. People are losing their jobs. Sony's pulling people to do other games. They're focusing on Marathon right now. The writing is on the wall. I think the era of Destiny is coming to a conclusion, or at least it's winding down, where it's not as prominent anymore. We'll see. Maybe Sony can help them turn it around, but I doubt it. They either release a D3 and take us back to exotics was a random unexpected drop, so that feels exciting to get one, and have normal raids be unlimited revives with hard or master with just 1 revive each, or combine D1 into one big game. I think so. Here's my thought. I think normal raids should absolutely have unlimited revives. Absolutely. I agree with this. I think the revive system is bad for introducing new players, especially people who want to learn the raid. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to teach someone and have them get frustrated because they die and they feel like they're hindering the team, which usually they are. But again, you're trying to teach them, and having to have 1 revive per person and then have to consistently wipe is annoying. I think base raids should absolutely have unlimited revives, except for day ones. I think day ones should have that mechanic as a contest mode mechanic, where you reintroduce the 1 revive per person for contest mode, and after that, base raids just have unlimited revives. Absolutely. I guarantee you, they remove that, more people will try raids, because then they don't feel like they're immediately handicapping the entire team. Will it make normal raids easier? Absolutely. That's why we have master raids. You want a challenge? Do the master raid. Do I think they should introduce the master raid sooner because of that? Absolutely. Do I think they should remove crafting weapons from base raids? Absolutely. Because we all know if you make base raids easier, people are going to get loot faster. Master raids should have the 1 revive, should be harder, and you should get the adepts with multiple perks that you can enhance. That should be the golden child of loot. And here's another hot take. This might piss people off. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think if they make take away unlimited, they give unlimited revives in base normal raids, there should be no chest at the end that lets you use spoils to buy things. I think that should be a master only. I think if you're going to have a much easier time, you should not be rained on loot. That might be too elitist. I don't know. I might be pissing people off, but I know that there's going to be people that are going to immediately disagree with the unlimited revives. So I'm trying to find that compromise for both sides. And compromise is important. How do you make things easier for new players while not immediately just giving handouts? And I think if you make the chest at the end only for master, people, and just make it to where you can farm raids. I think you should be able to farm raids. I think you can do that in World of Warcraft. You can literally farm raids for gear nonstop. So like, I think that's a fair compromise. Remove the chest, but you can farm, which requires people to actually do the mechanics. You actually have to play the game instead of just standing in front of a chest and getting a bunch of freebies. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Destiny 3, focus on PvE and add any PvP or other game modes afterward. I'm a PvP player, or was. They've done such a dash job at this point. I want Destiny 3, and I just hope they don't overboard with the powers again. A PvP only sandbox that balanced around just PvP would be amazing. It'll never happen. I think that's true. PvP needs to be its own thing that only is impacted by itself. The problem with it is random rolls. As long as random rolls exist, gunplay is going to be random. But I think powers should definitely be toned specifically to PvP. It is not necessarily the case, because if recharge rates are faster, they're going to be faster in both places. And usually if you nerf it in one place, you nerf it in both PvE and PvP, which will inevitably piss one side off. And Bungie's just been incompetent in handling it. I played yesterday and had quite possibly the worst time I've ever had playing G2. And it was literally because of SBM LMAO. With nobody playing my lobbies, were just insane stomps. Yeah, so I think that I need to do like a video on SBMM, because honestly, yeah, this is, I don't think SBM itself is bad. I think how Bungie does it is bad. The only way I've been able to be back is if they rid themselves of live service. They also need to think really hard about vaulting content and scrapping any of ramp on board new players. I think if here's the thing. Here's my honest opinion. I think PvP should be separated from PvE. You should treat PvE as like Borderlands. It should be crazy. It should be fun. It should have some challenges like day ones and have restrictions. Like, imagine if it was like mayhem mode for base content. You're overpowered, but then you have restrictions on day one content, or just in like certain like master raids where you have modifier says 20% less ability recharge. Like, it's just these default debuffs that mitigate, that make you play like in a different way. I think that would be interesting, in my opinion. Let you feel like a god for people who want to feel like a god, but for that real end game content, it becomes challenging and it's fine-tuned to where it's specifically, because we know in PvP you can change recharge rates. Why can't you do that in like a specific mode as a modifier where it does that automatically, except you don't get to choose it? If I do a raid and I get 50% less super regen, but out in the world I'm like regenning very fast, I'm popping supers, or make it feel like a Warframe, or abilities you can use your abilities pretty often. Again, these are things that they could experiment with. They could make like a PvE playlist with modifiers or things that could boost your regen. They don't do it, because if it's not paid for, they don't do it. And I think it's such a loss that we could have fun experimentations for things like that. But maybe with a D3 they could do that. Maybe it's the system how it is now, they can't do it. Maybe they need a D3. And I would say if they're able to do things like that, where they're able to segregate PvP from PvE, and PvE you could have moments where you feel like an actual god, and then you have modifiers, that if they could do that in a new game, then I would absolutely be for D3. I don't care if they wipe everything clean. If they can change how we fundamentally experience the game, I'm okay with that. If that means they can add more things into it. Make PvP fun again and more PvE in games like Grandmasters and hard content. TBH, they had it with OG Checkmate, just need some tweaks. I lived in the Crucible when that came out. I never really played Checkmate. I heard the no ability playlist is apparently good. I need to try that. Promise a future. Yeah, there you go. Give all the vaulted content back and make all legendary weapons from those seasons. True, I agree. But realistically, if they wanted me super interested like before, they would need D3. Give us a reason to have faith in them again. I think that is huge. I play once a week. I would come back full time for a D3. Improve the PvP experience. Honestly, stop nerfing everything. Some things I get, like I get others. It just feels like they do it because it's fun for the player base. They're quick to take away everything they thinking our game won't survive if it's there. They need to start actually listening to the player base instead of, I guess, nerfing. I'm not going to look it up, but I agree. I think there needs to be balance, but I think there needs to be like a sandbox. Like, think of like a card game. Like, let's say Magic the Gathering. There's different playlists or different like modes you can play. You can play standard where everything's balanced a certain way. You can play modern where you can play older cards that and make it more powerful. So imagine game modes where they fine tune it to a specific way, whereas you can play other play modes where those nerfs and changes don't exist. They don't apply, right? Imagine it in a world where, let's say we're playing Grandmasters and you can't hold up your shield, your Titan shield, and produce a bunch of orbs and get like 100% super back for Furiosa, but like in the base raid, you could do that. Because the nerf isn't applied there. Or let's say in Master Raid, the nerf to Still Hunt exists, but in the normal raids, the nerf to Still Hunt doesn't exist. See what I'm getting at? I'm trying to paint the picture. What if there's like different modes where certain nerfs don't apply? Like you can have this old-fashioned chaos mode where you get to enjoy things as they were. And if they're buffed, they get the buff on top of whatever they're at now. Would that make things overpowered? Absolutely. But that's why you have specific modes catered. Now, is that a lot of work and probably a lot of development? Yes, but I think it would be very interesting to do something like that. New challenges, no level cap. Nothing can be done as far as I'm concerned. The bridge is burnt. They've made their bed and folks have suffered for it all across the board. Want to fix Bungie? Bring folks back. Start with having Pete Parson resign. Absolutely. Get him out of here. He's garbage. Rewards for reaching higher levels. The death of Destiny 2 and 3. Okay. Okay, I'm saying, I guess what they're saying is kill Destiny 2 and bring Destiny 3 and they'll come back. Lord Shax's face reveal. Glad you asked. Produce an actual roadmap for the years to come. Change the onboarding for new Guardians. Absolutely. Less grindy. I don't want to spend hours getting precision kills with an auto rifle just to do the following week with hand cannons. Yes, I think modified bounty system. I think this all together. Like, no, my biggest criticism about the AFK macros was the fact that people were doing it for XP. Just overhaul the whole XP system. Just it's very boring and it's bad. Destiny on a break to produce something exciting like a Destiny 3. Label it how you want. Give me Guardian Amanda Holiday. Maybe a romance option. Maybe Destiny 3. Fix PvP. No trials. Ew, I don't know about that, Chief. Give me the next expansion for free plus all previous content. Okay. Destiny 3. A complete reset of everything. I have nearly 10k hours worth of god rolls. Same. I haven't kept new armor in years. Same. New content story will only keep my attention for a few hours. Same. My vault is more annoying than useful. Just take it all away and let's start over. I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about that. I don't know about that last one, but D3, yes. I think so. Here, you want to get my hot take. If they did D3, I think they should have let all exotics come over. Like how many times are they gonna bring back Thorn? How many times are we gonna get Knucklehead Radar? How many times are they gonna bring back Whisperer of the Worm or a version of it, right? I think and if you want people to re-chase it, I'm okay with that. Take every exotic we have now and put it in the game. And if you want to separate it to where it comes out with seasons, like here's a bunch of like things you could chase for different activities to re-earn it, I'm okay with that. I know it will piss a lot of people off, But if it's in the game still and you can keep those weapons and those armor, like if you're reinventing the armor system anyways, which I hope they do, then I'm okay with them bringing back that stuff. Because let's be honest, a lot of stuff that's broken is the abilities and some of the weapon perks we have in the game. But I think the exotics, if you made them feel exotic, or like, yeah. I don't know. I don't have a perfect solution, but I do think if you vault everything, including raid exotics, even raid exotics too, like I feel like it feels bad. Like exotics, some people spend a lot of time chasing after, so I feel like exotics should all pass over. I don't know. Make Destiny 3 nearly complete, remove abilities and special element PvP. So a lot of PvP players sounding off. Destiny 2, remove the Destiny 2 vanilla campaign was a huge mistake. I agree. Be better like Splitgate, way better game than whatever you're on about. Okay. Add back the Red War and Forsaken. I forgot about Forsaken. Yeah, bring that back too. But Red War for sure for new players. Thought it was going to come for Last Shape, but didn't. Just don't care about the game anymore. Honestly, don't know. I've been playing for so long to the point where the game is just boring in general. There's nothing majorly wrong with it. Currently, in my opinion, I just don't have the urge to log in anymore. Nerf Prismatic Hunter in PvP into Oblivion. Okay, someone's salty in PvP. It's going to take a whole new generation of naive hamsters to save Bungie, and I think they know it. Wow. He's right, though. Because what you have currently now is the people that are already simping for Bungie, and then you need some naive hamsters to spin the wheels, which is probably why they're focusing on it, because they know they can't get away with some of the bull crap that they currently get away with the veterans. And so they're like, well, we just got to turn the ship around and get new players who will absolutely take our bull crap. And I think a lot of people that do defend Bungie are new players, and so they have no idea why veterans are complaining, and so they're just hamsters on the wheel, naive. They have yet to learn, but they will. I'd say enough with the agenda bullcrap with old man is gross. I do think it's really weird that they do trying to push it a little bit. Like, I'm gonna be honest, keep the relationship out of my first-person shooter. I don't care. I think Borderlands did that in Borderlands 3, and I didn't care for it either. Like, let's just focus. Like, it was kind of like in Borderlands 2, there was moments where the relationship was brought up about like Handsome Jack and Moxie, and it was more like a haha, that's kind of funny, like, oh, I didn't know that kind of stuff. But like, I don't care about whether it's gay or heterosexual. Like, I just keep the relationship somewhere else. This isn't a relationship simulation. I just want to kill things. Listen to Silver 3 Platinum to players on what to do for PvP. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Top down renovation of PvP. Unban me. Okay. TBH, Destiny 3 will do. Destiny 3. Buff Xenophage. I think people are weird. Take me back to 30th anniversary. Clarity on the future. Let us know. Stop nerfing fun. Make Destiny as a whole not feel like a full-time job. True. Well, that's live service. If you a real live service is about donating your soul to them. That's what live service gaming is. You have to donate your soul to them. Unless you're playing Warframe, in which case, if you're starting new, it feels like you're selling your soul, but honestly, the amount of content they push out is slowed out so you can actually kind of savor it. So you don't have to sell your soul when you catch up. Honestly, all I want is a focus on the core game. New Gambit and PvP maps, 2 strikes. I even want to see weapon types added to the game. Crossbow, maces, boomerangs could even be fun with a with card type new weapon. A D3 would kill any interest I have with the franchise. Ooh, so we got the reverse. Continue D2, but if you do D3, I'm out. Reprising all vaulted raids with new seals, challenges, emblems. For D2 raids, they can do what they did with Crota, Vogue, and I won't say KFC. King's Fall, but without a raid race. I think raid races are stupid for new raids, in my opinion. Like, day ones are fine, but raid races, like, we've already done them. It's kind of like, why? They can't. I mean, it's simple. Even if they continue major expansions or made Destiny 3, they ended their only decent story. It's no longer, yeah, that's another thing. Like, what the hell is the story going to be about when the Light Darkness saga was Destiny? Was it going to be about, like, Spaceman go burr? What is it? It's no longer about light and darkness. So what's it about, Chief? I paid $100 for the full pack of Final Shape. I played the camping once with a Titan, got bored at the same old explore the map crap. Didn't even start the episode stuff, delete Destiny. I feel absolutely zero emotion when I play this game nowadays. Yikes. Cheaper expansions so they actually worth the content they provide. Although I know it would be difficult, bring back vaulted campaigns. D3, scrap Marathon. The reviews are mediocre anyways, focus on Destiny. That's another thing. Marathon looks like it's going to be garbage. And that's just not my opinion. The reviews have been coming out about it. Not only that, there's a lot of other games that are coming out with extraction shooters. There's a lot of extraction shooters, so the field is being saturated. And right now, Tarkov has released an update that's made it even better. So, like, honestly, Tarkov is still holding the balls of that extraction shooter genre. It'll be very interesting to see if Bungie can even do anything. It's a big list. Remove the weekly rotators for raids. Allow us to do the master challenges on all raids, regardless of what week it is. True. Have more engaging activities than battlegrounds is really boring. True. Stop nerfing weapons abilities when they said they want stuff to be OP. True. A way to learn raid mechanics solo. Raiding is my favorite part of the game, and I hate having to wait 100 Twitch stream raffles to win practical instruction from someone. I can't grab a pug to learn because they all say know what to do. I'm highlighting this because this is the problem with Destiny. You have people that want to learn, and yet no one wants to teach. And I'm one of them because I don't have the patience. So the game should do better at teaching the players versus the players having to teach other players. And that's how Bungie gets away with things, but not for new players. There's a reason why statistically raids are the lowest played content in the game. It's because of this. People, like, honestly, you shouldn't have to. Like, the fact that you do that, it's kind of like, ooh, I don't do that. But I get it. I can be empathetic to you. They need to quit fixing what isn't broken or work out a system so that what isn't broken doesn't hurt underperformers when it's fixed inevitably because it's an outlier. Double Special and the various fragments out there that got nerfed are good examples of this. I don't know about this bottom part, but I agree they need to stop trying to fix what isn't broken because they often do that. It's funny. We could keep going. And the whole point of this video was to just look at everything else. Destiny's focusing so many people answer Destiny 3 to this. If it needs a break, a full break, that much is clear. Sony needs to let that happen. So Destiny needs a break. We need about a year or two off. I know that's going to piss a lot of people off, but the game's already dying anyways. We need to let Bungie breathe and really kind of get their crap together. If you're constantly struggling and you're on the grind, if you don't get a time to just recollect yourself and form a game plan, the content's going to suck. And episodes are a perfect example of, hey guys, we listened to you. We're no longer doing seasons, but now we have episodes, which is equally as bad, if not worse. Let's see. I think this year in 2029, Destiny 3 has been out for a while. They have introduced their first reprise rate. Root of Nightmares is currently 22 hours into the race, and no one has gotten close to beating it yet. Interesting. I feel like with Destiny 3 trending, people do not remember what a disaster D2 launch was like. Imagine going to Destiny with maybe 3 out of the 6 subclasses we have now, but also with none of the exotics, other combo pieces for them. And that's another thing. You would have to really justify changing what we do for Destiny. And I think that's it. I think I had other Destiny 3 stuff, but it might just get reset. I think it got reset. Yeah, so overall, Destiny 3 was trending because of the comment. And I wanted to check it. It's a very long video, but it's a long topic. Just to see what all these people, like a lot of Destiny 3s, a lot of people, how many comments are on here? 1.6K comments. And that's not including all the individual conversations within them, because there's a lot. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. What would Bungie need to do to bring you back? I was trying to think about what I needed, but I think that's an entire video on its own. And so I will leave the question for you and I will answer it later, maybe. As always, I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, game out.